and actually like a physical board, just
Mm.
write it down in your journal. What I like to do is I actually create a folder in my computer with the year that I'm going for, right? So right now I have a folder that's 2021. In that folder, I have three different folders. I have experiences, growth, and contribution. So that's kind of like my core values in life. So I always approach it that way. So just so for me to apply it. So experiences, some of the experiences this year I want to do is go to Mexico, something that, oh no, good morning, everybody. It's the last day of the year, December 31st. This is Michael from Lots of Info. It's been a pleasure this year. It's been fucking crazy, but we made it. Just a quick disclaimer, this is a conversation between me and Randy only. It's just for fun. So anything said on this podcast shouldn't be taken as a professional advice. Take it what resonates with you and leave the rest. But yeah, let's get it started.
Sweet. So welcome back, everybody. Like Michael was just saying, end of the year, almost over. We're what, less than 20 hours away? No, a lot less than
It's
that.
like less than that, 16 hours away.
We're almost, yeah, we're approaching 16 hours here. So, leaving 2020 behind, 2021 coming up.
Mhm.
Hopefully that just means a bunch of good things for you and your family and you and yours. Whatever goals you have set up. We'll get into the topics now about New Year's resolution, fitness goals for the year, and trading and investing for the upcoming year. Hopefully, with all these things, you can, set yourself up for success. That way, you can enjoy the fruits of your labor going into 2022 and moving forward. So let's put in the work and then let's get those rewards.
Sweet. And we also have a secret topic for today. It's just hitting in there. All right, cool. So let's get it started. This might get a little bit lengthy, but it's the last episode of the year, so it's worth it. Cool, cool, cool. Oh, let me set that time. All right, you can get it started. What are some of your New Year's resolution?
Perfect. So, I mean, I'll tell you what my resolutions are, but it's more
Mhm.
just to talk about it in general too.
Okay.
Um, so, in terms of my resolutions, I would say that one of the things that I picked up really heavily was my trading, right? So, my whole plan since the beginning is to make it a source of income where I can actually do something with that. So, as far as that's concerned, that's going pretty decent. All I have to do is just continue doing that.
Mhm.
Patience and consistency is key with most things in life. So that's that. Just continue doing that. Obviously, I'm a personal trainer as well. So that just means that my job is to help people get in the best shape of their life. And, whatever goals that they have for themselves, it's my job to make that into a plan for them so that it's actually achievable. So, as far as that's concerned, it's just about being a better trainer, right? And just pushing people to their limits and making sure that they're not leaving anything on the table so that they don't have any regrets when it comes to their health and their fitness. And in terms of my personal health and fitness, I've usually found that nowadays I don't really have to do too much. But I do feel like I am waning a little bit in terms of my strength because I kind of stopped doing like progressive strength training as I used to do before with like barbells, your bench, squats, deadlifts. So I do seek to put in a lot more time into that. And I definitely will try my best to do that. Um, but besides that, I think that's about it.
Very short and simple. I like it. All right, so New Year's resolution, let's start by defining it and what it is. Every year, I feel like everybody has a New Year's resolution, or you're familiar with it. It's some goals or some things that you want to achieve by the end of this goal. We can actually talk tomorrow about why they fail. Like a lot of people fail on their New Year's, but it's kind of like a very ambitious plan, has said. But if you're consistent with it, then you will definitely achieve it. I was very successful on my 2020 resolutions. Not entirely, but some of them I was able to achieve, and I'm hoping that next year it will be a little bit different, and uh, I will be able to achieve them all. All right. The way that I do my New Year's resolutions or any resolution or any goals that I have is something that I mentioned on the podcast previously. I divide it into three different sections, and it's very good to actually make a visual kind of
Representation.
representation. Yeah. So a lot of people they like to do like a board, like an actually like a physical board. Just
Mm.
write it down in your journal. What I like to do is I actually create a folder in my computer with the year that I'm going for, right? So right now I have a folder that's 2021. In the folder I have three different folders. I have experiences, growth, and contribution. So that's kind of like my core values in life. So I always approach it that way. So just so for me to apply it, you know. So experiences, some of the experiences this year I want to do is go to Mexico, something that was planned for 2020, but because of the pandemic, I wasn't able to go to do so. So Mexico is one of the experiences I want to enjoy or go to. I want to visit Asia. So I have been in Europe. I have been in almost, you know, like the continent in America, and Asia and Africa are the only continent, and Australia that haven't been yet. So this year, hopefully, I will get a chance to actually visit Asia. And my goal is to actually backpack. And for that, I want to save like money and like rent dimensions. Like I actually want to start trading more often and make more profits as well, rather than something part time. That way, I can just also work remotely. It would allow me to create profits while on the way. So that's one of my goals for this year. Another experience also is to I was actually just thinking about it.
Mm.
Oh yeah, to get out of my comfort zone. That's something that I always aim for every year, and I feel like I'm getting better at it. Getting
Mm.
out there, that's one of the top three. Cool. Now on the growth, I want to start learning a new language, and
Mm.
French has been on my list for so long. French and Japanese. So I wanna be see if I can learn French. I want to improve on my skills, on my coding skills, and getting ready for technical interviews, which is part of my job process. So that's also part of my uh, growth that I want to do better. And also, I want to be a better citizen, better person, better son, better, um, better,
Human.
better human. Yeah, that's something on my list also every year. Something that I always aim for. And all right, let's move on to contribution. Contribution, I want to give back my knowledge to other people. So something that I have learned. This is one of the things is through the podcast. I'm also starting to build a website where I share my ideas, share some of my projects to give back. Right. That I want to keep volunteering. I volunteer for two organizations at the moment, which is Teach for America, as well as COV Education. So I want to keep doing that this upcoming year as well. So that's cool. And of
Okay.
course, yeah. Also, don't forget on the growth. On the growth, I also have the fitness. So I want to be consistent.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I forgot to
What happened
mention.
to that program? You're supposed to send me that program you were going to start.
Oh yeah, I actually was building it, started creating
Uh,
it. But yeah, so
uh,
that's one thing as well. That and and also land a job. So by the end of the year, I do want like a more stable, high-paying job because I'm graduating this May. And also another of my goals for this year is to actually live on my own, so move out from my parents' house. So the goal,
nice.
yeah, the ultimate goal is to buy an apartment, but I want to be, by the end of this year, I want to be living on my own, like getting independent.
Nice, nice. I mean,
Yeah.
you're going to have with some roommates or alone?
We will see. We will see. So right now I have it like a little bit broad, just out, from my pop's house, and then life will determine whether it's with roommates or it will be by my own.
Gotcha. Sweet. All right. So yeah, when it comes to like everything we were talking about with the New Year's resolutions, I would say that you should make it something that well, we'll talk about tomorrow about why people fail, but don't get too bogged down if you don't achieve those goals within a certain period of time. The whole point is to just put yourself in the game. Because oftentimes people like, they constantly push it back until the perfect opportunity presents itself for them to start.
Hmm.
I'm not going to start working out until the new year starts. And that's where people fail, because right off the bat, you're setting off on such a high expectations. Imagine right off the new year. So that means come tomorrow, January 1st, you're going to have to be in the gym.
And if you're not, you're gonna feel shitty about yourself.
And then that's just going to spiral, right? And if you're
Yeah.
somebody that likes to stress eat, you're going to start eating like crazy. And then that's going to get more into the fitness topic that we're going to talk about. But it's suffice to say, it's just don't put yourself in a situation where you feel like a loser simply because you didn't achieve the same or whatever it was that you set out to achieve. So long as you started it, and so long as you're consistently making progress towards that goal, that's all that matters. Because at the end of the day, people overestimate what they can do in a short period of time, like a year, right? But they underestimate what they can do in 5 to 10 years, right? Imagine hypothetically okay, so look, you're graduating college right now, right? And your goal is to find a job within a year. Maybe that time frame is too short, but within a 5 to 10 year period of time, I'm sure that you'll be able to find a job, get good promotions, and put yourself in a position where your salary is significant enough for you to do whatever it is that you want to do. Move out, travel, work remotely and travel, whatever the case is. So always be thinking, short term, medium term, and long term.
Nah, for
That
sure.
way you can categorize things in a certain way and not just beat yourself down for not achieving a goal that's really abstract and not really specific.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. Also, another thing that I would suggest is be a little bit more specific about the things that you want to do. Sometimes if you put like a really broad kind of goal, it can be misleading for you to follow. So what I noticed, like my strategy of like dividing it, it has worked because it's always like that specification, like that very being very specific about it. And once you specific, for example, let's say by the end of this year you want to make 100K. So if you're specific about the number, then you're gonna work towards it. Whereas if you say I want to make tons of money can mean like $1 or $100 or $1 million. So be a little bit more specific about the goals that you want also in your New Year's resolution. And like I said, you actually want to have it written down somewhere or somehow because it's going to be helpful in the long run.
Right. All right. I think that about covers it. Tomorrow we'll get a little bit more into why people, start actually failing. We already talked a bit about it, like, setting that expectation or that bar way too high right off the bat. But there's more to it than just that as well.
Absolutely. Very good.
All right.
All right. So let's go with the goals for the new year.
All right. So
area.
now we're talking about the fitness. This is my territory, right? So fitness goals, big problem. And usually this is where people are like, this is where they're going to start kickstarting their health journey. And, you get an influx of people at the gym, maybe not so much this year, right? But usually you get an influx at the gym with people, really motivated to get in there, hit their goals, start losing their weight, gaining their muscle, whatever the case is. And don't get me wrong, having goals, especially in the health and fitness realm, is definitely a good thing to have. But again, we go back to what I was talking about with setting unrealistic expectations right off the bat. If the bar is too high, you're going to most likely fail. And then that's just going to set you back even further than you were before. Mm-hmm. So as it pertains to the fitness goals, your goals should be within a time frame of about 3 to 6 months, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. That way you give yourself that room in case you do slip up here or there and it doesn't really affect you that much. But like when the goal is specifically to, I want to lose 10 pounds by February, and you're somebody that doesn't really do too much in the gym and hasn't really worked out that often, you might be able to lose that in water weight, but that's not really going to be what you want to lose, right? You're trying to lose fat. So that's not going to help you in the long run. So set the goals in terms of New Year's resolutions for a longer period of time. I would set them in quarters, right? So every quarter is 3 months. You can do that. That way you can give yourself that space to, see those results. And also I would say when it comes to New Year's resolutions in the health and fitness realm, Um, don't, man, I don't know how to explain it too well with the way I'm trying to go about it, but just focus more on being healthy and not looking good, right? Because when you focus on your performance and your ability to just do more, that's where those results are going to start coming in. Oftentimes, people just get way too tied up with the physical, the appearance, and the perception. And that's where you really start getting demotivated because, again, it takes time with everything that we're doing here, specifically with your fitness. It really takes a lot of time. And you really have to be diligent about giving yourself that space to, work through whatever it is that you have to work through, and actually attain those goals within a decent amount of time. Plus, people have a tendency of like needing to have this thing be a rushed process and try to get to their goal as fast as possible. But for what? Because oftentimes what ends up happening is that you either get injured or you overdo it, you overwork yourself, and then you burn out. Take your time with this, be patient and diligent about it. It's a discipline like anything else. Take it as like learning a language. Take it as like learning any kind of martial arts. You're going to have to take time with this in order to achieve the goal that you're trying to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I feel like goals on the fitness area, it's the something that everybody has them in their New Year's resolution. So you gotta be
Start
consistent.
small. Start small and build. That's all you have to do. The
Yeah.
bigger you start off, the more problematic it's going to be because then you're going to have to keep scaling it, right? So if you set the bar here starting off, you're going to have to keep going higher. But if you start down here and you slowly build up, once you get to this point, it's relatively easier to just keep going higher because you already started with a good base.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely, absolutely. You gotta start small and you gotta grow from it, because if you start too big, also chances are that you are gonna feel like shit and that you're gonna leave it there.
You know what? I just got a perfect analogy.
All right.
Hypothetically, imagine you're in a car, right? And I'm telling you, you're going to have to get out of the car and start running. And I'm not going to tell you at what speed. I'm going to let you out the car. Imagine if I told you get out the car at 60 miles an hour. What do you think is going to happen?
I'm gonna die.
Pretty much. That's
Mhm.
exactly what you end up doing when you go in with really high expectations with with your New Year's resolution. Instead of starting at 60, start at 0 and build, right? Because if I tell you get out the car when the car's not moving and start running, it's going to be a lot easier than you getting out of the car at 60 or 100 miles an hour. You're just going to fucking literally skid on the floor and die.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I think that covers it. Oh, do you have anything extra to add?
That's it.
I think I'm not the best to talk about that because
No,
my
no, that's fine.
fitness fitness resolution for last year didn't come through. So as you may see, I don't have my 6 packs yet.
Not yet. That's
Not
the
yet.
key word.
All right, cool. Let's go to the secret topic. So near death experience and what we have there.
Hmm. I know you got a couple of those.
Yeah, I have a few of those, but I think I'm
Give me
gonna
number
talk
one.
about, yeah, I'm gonna talk about one that really changed my life. In like no bullshit, guys. This was actually something that happened on 2017. I got into a car accident when I was working. Um, so I was driving a Silverado for work, and I don't for some reason I was perfectly conscious. I was very good, but during that time I was actually going into like bottom. What do you call it? I was on my bottom in life. Like I was really like I was
Depressed?
in a really bad situation. I landed a really good job, but I didn't feel like I was lost because I just left Buffalo, and like I mentioned on previous podcasts, in Buffalo I was doing experimenting with a lot of marijuana, so my head was lost. I was like flying around. I didn't know what to do. I felt like like the career that I was into, it wasn't for me necessarily. So I was trying to figure all that shit out, and then this happens. Um, Now, I was crossing a red light. Well, I was thinking I was crossing a yellow light, but turns out that the light changed as I was like going through the middle. And this other car, it was like a smaller car. It was kind of like a CRV. Yeah, it was. I think it was like similar to a CRV model. I don't remember well. And it was an old guy. he just crashed into my right side. Bro, you know, if you are familiar with the Silverados are huge cars. But the time that I, remember that the half of it, like the front in like like the passenger seat, it was all gone. That's how much force it took. And because the Silverado was huge, it didn't like, turn or flipped. But I was thankful that I didn't get any injured. I got a little concussion on my head. And let me tell you, it's truly that you get to kind of see what you have done and how you have come in when something like this happens to you. Because I got shaked, and the only thing that I remember it was kind of like looking at my past and how far I have come, and that really kind of motivated to me to like push forward and to keep doing me, and to be actually proud of myself. Because if you know a little bit more about my history, I come from like from Ecuador. I didn't grow up with a lot of things. Like I had to, what do you call? Like I wasn't poor, but I wasn't rich either. Like I lived a decent life. I actually went to a private school over there, but I was also limited to certain things that other kids had, such as video game, for example. The reason that I didn't get to play with a video game it was because we couldn't afford it, and yeah, I was grateful about like the things that I had to do back then. I remember like going to the out to Los Campos, like to like every year, like when the crop seasons, I used to work on that. Like I used to start working since I was a little kid, and to be to that point, I was 19 at that time, or 20. No, I was 19 at that time. Yeah, I was 19. To get to the experience and see like my life go through a lot of shit, and then kind of like just think about it, be like, shit, I have come really far compared to other kids. I'm fucking ahead of a lot of people because I was getting into investing and all that, and and that really motivated me. And just let me tell you, the paramedic that asked me, I was good. I was like, I'm great. And then, yeah, and then my boss drove me to where my car was parked, and I have no clue how the fuck I drove back home. But I remember because I was still kind of like a little bit dizzy on my head, right? I was not injured, not at all. And bro, I got home, I started crying the shit out of my life because it was scary. It was really scary to be in that position, and I'm so grateful that you know it wasn't on my other side. If the car was coming from my side, I was gone, but it came from the right side. For example, if I had a passenger, that passenger was gone because it was so bad. But yeah, that's probably the craziest and something that really changed my life. Because from there, it became uphill. That's when I decided to re-enroll in City College and all that.
Nice. No, I mean that hits home. It's deep. Yeah. And it put things. Things like that always put things into perspective, right? We get tied down with all these like little things, like all these little petty grievances or whatever the case is. But whenever those moments happen where everything can be taken away from you in a blink of a moment, then you're just like, oh, okay. So that was just like a bunch of nonsense. What's actually important is this, this, and this. And, I have to be proud of who I am because who else is, right?
Exactly.
You have to want to live your life because nobody else is going to want to live it for you.
Yeah. I had to learn the hard way. And honestly, I feel like a lot of people learn after they get this sort of experience. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's usually the case. So yeah, for like my experience, right? It was a similar situation where not necessarily it was an accident. So this happened, let's say when I was like 12, 13 maybe. I was in the Dominican Republic, and we went down to this little river in some little village. And I got in the water, I was playing with the kids there and stuff. But then I started slowly going out a little bit further on my own. And there was a stream that was coming down the river. And I was like, that's not going to do anything. And then at some point, I ended up getting caught in the stream. So I started going down with the current. And as I was going down, I thought it was like a nice little ride and I was going to stop at some point. But what ended up happening is that it kept taking me further and further. At that point, I was with my mom. And I was just like, I was calling out to my mom and, I was getting so far away that she wasn't able to hear me anymore. And then I started crashing into some rocks. So like I started getting hit on the ribs or on the side of the body with rocks. And as I kept going down, so, I go down, I get hit, I go down to the other side, I get hit. So I was just getting bruised up and all the way and as I kept going further and further away. Luckily enough, I was able to catch myself on some like stick that was stuck between rocks and I pulled myself out. But if that wasn't there, I was most likely gone because I was just going to keep going further and further until I got to some sort of waterfall or whatever the case would have been. So to that end, before that point, I was really, I wouldn't say, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a word that I use so often, but I keep forgetting what it is. Greedy? Not necessarily. At this time, I was really overweight. And that was just due to the fact that all I did was stay home and play video games. And I really wanted to socialize with people. I was a pretty mean kid online as well. I would tell kids to go fuck themselves and they would beat me in a game or something like that. I was a troll, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, that's all fun and stuff in a game. But the reality of the situation is that sometimes I'd actually believe these things that I was saying to these people, like they sucked, that their life wasn't worth anything, whatever the case is. Like it could have gotten pretty bad. But after that experience, it kind of put things into perspective in the form of like, life, you don't understand people's lives. And you can't really just go about just judging people for the sake of judging them or because they make you feel bad or insecure or whatever the case is. At the end of the day, what you have to focus on is yourself. And,
Right.
At that point in my life, I wasn't the best version of myself. I wasn't anything near where I wanted to be. I wasn't fit. I wasn't healthy. I didn't like the way I looked. At that point, puberty started taking place. So, I wanted to start interacting with girls, but I had like man boobs that were bigger than the girls. So that's a problem, right? This was one of the other big motivating factors that, got me into fitness. So things like that, it just puts everything into perspective in moments like that. And I was just like, you know what? At this point, I have to really just focus on myself, double down, become better, and, just do everything that I can to be better. And that's basically what I did moving forward after that point because, I went to high school, started working out more, went to college, kept all my grades up always. I was never dropping below the top 10 in my class. My fitness took up. I became a personal trainer. I started taking up investing and trading. I didn't really, I didn't finish my college degree with computer engineering, but it took up a lot of stuff there. I put everything into perspective of like how difficult things can be. And, we appreciate the technology. We don't appreciate the technology that we have, yet it's so easy to use. Yet if you were to actually just see what it is, like get down into the nitty gritty and see the hardware and see the program, like this thing can get really complicated. So, it really puts things into perspective so that you can really appreciate them. But in any case, that experience really just set me on the right path. And, it's gotten me to where I'm at now. And it really, I'm grateful for the fact that I had it, even though that could have been the end of my life.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like this sort of experience is really kind of brings the fighter on you out because any other person will have let it go. Like honestly, if somebody like was weak, we would have let it go. Like that's
I wouldn't
actually
say if you're weak though, but it's just human beings are designed to survive.
right.
And there is something to be said that people kind of just give up sometimes, especially before it's too late or before they even have a chance to fight. So, really, you got to trust in yourself and double down and don't be afraid to do what you have to do to survive because that's what we're programmed to do. And oftentimes in life, I usually find that if you can stick there long enough, if you can just stay in the fight long enough, there's a
Right.
reason for you to be there. There's a reason for you to be doing the things that you're doing. You
Yeah,
maybe don't see it right now in this moment, but if you give yourself enough time, then everything kind of reveals itself. Everything starts organizing itself, putting itself into place, and you're like, oh, that's why I had to do that. That's why that experience happened. That's why that bad thing happened. It's so that I can do this, or so I could learn this, or so that I can move forward with this knowledge.
absolutely. Yeah, another also thing that I had said is that another time that I had a similar experience, well, it was more like health wise, is that I felt happy. If I were to die at that moment, I was happy because I had a good life until right now, until today, and that's what I'm grateful for. And I feel like the ultimate goal of life is to die, because if you think about it, every single human being is gonna die someday. So
It's
if
the
you
only
are,
thing that's guaranteed.
yeah, that's the only thing guaranteed, exactly. And if you are happy at the moment on your last breath, then that's it. That's what it is. You did
That's what
you
we're
did
looking for,
it
man.
as that well. Yeah. All right. I think that covers that topic.
Mm-hmm.
It brought some memories back, but yeah, cool. Let's go to the finance. Trading and investing on the upcoming year. Um. All right.
What do you got? What kind of goals you looking for? I mean, you already talked a little bit about it, but maybe you want to explain it a little bit better.
Absolutely. Yeah. So my goal is to trade more often. So I actually want to learn to trade. So the program that you
Yeah.
bought.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm gonna definitely take that and learn more in detail. I wanna see what is different. And my goal to trading is to keep trading commodities, because I feel like I've been making profit out of it and I like it, because there's always the inverse to it. Whereas specific companies, I would definitely more invest rather than trade. But my goal for this year is uh, to get enough profit for savings that can what do you call that can be used for my travels. So my trading is mainly going to be for me.
Traveling.
Know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah. So some percentage is gonna go to my investment portfolio. So for my trades, and then the other one is gonna go to a savings, to
Don't
finance
forget.
my travels.
Don't forget the taxes as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that will go on the investment, I guess. But yeah, so savings, that's my goal for this year. To trade more often in partial of the trades. So I would say that I don't have a specific percentage, but maybe 50-50. So 50% of the profits, weekly profits or monthly profits, I will see how that goes. It will go into my investment portfolio. And then the other 50%, it will be on the savings account for either for travel, as well to finance my taxes and
Yeah,
adventure
that too.
this
Mm-hmm.
year. And yeah, so that's the goal for this year. Then when it comes to investing, though, investing is always for the long term on my end. So so investment, I'm aiming to start my projects sooner or later in Ecuador. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm saving up for that, and I'm definitely starting to work. 2022 is the year that I'm going to Ecuador for for almost like 2 months.
Extended period of time.
Yeah, now, well, my goal was to go for extended period of time, but I wanna have enough capital that I can sustain myself there for 6 or a year. But
Mm-hmm.
I will see how that goes. So the goal for investing also, some of the percentage is actually to buy an apartment here, and something that I want to do it. I don't want a house here, but I do want an apartment somewhere that I can call my own. And when I'm not here, I can always just do Airbnb. You know what I mean?
Right.
So cool. That's that goal for investing. So it's always the long term. It's nothing,
Gotcha.
nothing for this year, to be honest. It's just saving and
Yep.
building. What about you?
Similarly to you with my trading, I always told you like the goal is to get to about like 10,000 a month. So
Mhm.
that's the
That's a,
plan.
right.
Huh?
That's a good
Just
number.
10,000 a month is enough, especially within living in New York, to give you the capital that you would need to just stay alive and have a decent life. For the investing side, I'm starting to diversify in the way I'm investing long term.
Mhm.
So I got a little bit that's going towards just future projects, like buying homes or, doing bigger projects that will require a lot of capital.
Hmm.
And, that's not going to happen for, 5, 10 years. So that's just going to be money that I'm going to be putting aside on a weekly, monthly basis and just letting that accumulate. Obviously, I'm getting better at managing portfolios now. So, building out portfolios with really specific goals with, good structure in terms of like what exactly I want in it. And I'm just going to keep doing that, building that out and seeing what portfolios perform the best. And then
Okay.
once I find the one, then boom, I'll just start investing in that one solely, put all my money in there, and that's it. Then I have like challenges. Like I told you, I have a 1K growth challenge that I'm going to start doing.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so that one's just for fun and just to put myself in a position where like there's opportunities that I usually see that, they're high risk and
Hmm.
they offer a lot of reward, but I don't like taking them with my bigger account just simply because that has a tendency of backfiring.
Hmm.
And, I don't really want to be putting myself at too much risk with such a high account, with such a big account. So with the smaller one, the whole point is to take advantages of, really good opportunities in companies that either are up and coming or that have been established, like, in Alibaba, but we don't right now we don't know if this is where it's going to bounce back up to new highs or
Right.
if this is just a minor bounce and then it's just going to drop again.
Hmm.
So that's that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I think we have very specific goals on the trading aspect as well. So mainly doing more often and actually get enough money to survive. That we can live. Well, my idea is not really to leave my 9 to 5 because that would be extra capital for my for
No,
my.
no, no. I mean, my thing is to still
But
be a personal trainer and do that on the side. You always
right.
got to have multiple source of incomes.
Hmm. But yeah, I think the goals are set. In this year, it's gonna be a little bit unexpected or unprecedented as how it was 2020. So we're looking at some growth, but yeah, we don't. I feel like with the stimulus package coming to float sooner or later, it's definitely going to bring some opportunities in the market as well as in the economy, small businesses especially. And yeah, we're gonna see. We might see ultimate heights. We were just talking about that before the podcast with Randy. That before the year ends, all the markets are gonna aim for ultimate highs. So definitely a
I
good.
mean, look at Tesla, right?
Yeah, Tesla surpassed the 700 mark that we were talking yesterday. Just yesterday. Right now it's sitting on 703. Last time I
Mm-hmm.
checked. And yeah, it's a good day for Tesla. We will see how that runs. And yeah, all right. I don't have any news updates actually. I was reading on the news on my news email. There's nothing really to talk about. Things are stable. Um,
Oh, Bitcoin. Let's see if we break 30K today. I think that might just happen right before the new year.
oh yeah, maybe. Well, we will see how that goes. All right, then, guys. It's been a pleasure. This year has been awesome. I will see you next year. Ha ha ha. Jokes on you. But yeah. All right. Anything else
All
to
right.
add?
No, man. Thanks for listening. It's been a pleasure. We only started this late October, I think. So
Yeah.
we haven't been going all year, but we've been pretty consistent for the most part within this last period of time. So we're gonna keep this rolling into the New Year's. We might change up the format moving forward, just because variety is the spice of life. So sometimes we got to change things up just to keep things interesting, keep them fresh, and just keep living life.
Right. It's definitely for the better, though. It's definitely going to get improving. Once again,
Mm-hmm.
we are learning from this. So, the quality is definitely going to keep improving with time. And yeah, I hope you stay tuned for that.
Yep.
Out.
Peace out.